Hi, what's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're listening on the podcast or if you're watching me here on YouTube, welcome. My name is Dr. Ron, and I talk about everything healthcare on my channel. And today I'll be talking about some of the hard skills you need to know or need to have for you to be able to excel in health tech. So in my last video, I talked about the soft skills that are required of you or necessary for you to really do well in health tech. So I think it's also good to know about the hard skills that are also required for you to, make it in health tech, right? So you might just want to stick around to the end of the video so that you'll be getting all the relevant information. If you haven't seen the video about the soft skills, I think I recommend you see it before you even finish this one, or you finish this one, you move to that one. But either way, you need to see both of the videos so you understand the balance and the requirements, right? So let's dig in. What are hard skills? Hard skills is the opposite of what do you call it now? Soft skills. And basically, they are skill sets or required technical skills that you need to perform specific job functions, right? And they are quantifiable, they are teachable, and it's something you learn or you can be trained on, right? So those are the hard skills, and sometimes they are usually like role specific or job specific, right? But in a broader perspective, I'll just mention 10 I think are important for you to know to be able to do well in the health tech space. The first one is programming languages, right? So it's good to have an idea of programming languages that are used in the health tech space. It's not an absolute requirement, but it gives you an edge really if you understand what are the languages that are being used. The common one, you have Java, you have C sharp sharp, you have C++, you have Python, right? And these are some of the languages that are used to build some of these systems or softwares that we use in the health tech space, maybe EMRs, programming the Fitbit or wearing, or the Apple Watches and iOS and all of that. So you need to understand. You don't need to have a detailed understanding, again, depending on your role. Like I myself, so at least I understand the syntax of how Python is written, how SQL works, what's PHP, what does it look like, and all of that. It's not like I'm a coder, but I have a basic understanding because part of my job, or what I do in my job, is I interface with dev guys or developers. So it makes it easier for me because I speak the language. So when we are talking, I understand what they're talking about. So that gives you an edge that, unlike somebody who doesn't even understand what Python is and all of that, right? So that's a good skill, to a hard skill that you might want to work on. Then the next one is data analysis and visualization, right? So being able to look at large data sets, analyze them, generate reports, and interpret them and tell us your findings. That's a very super skill to have, another hard skill to have, right? And again, this might be job specific. So, for example, you're going to be a data analyst, junior data analyst, senior data analyst, or chief data analyst. You need to be very adept in analyzing data and visualizing data, really. So that means you're going to be very conversant with tools like Excel. Not just basic, advanced Excel functions. You should be able to do that. You should be able to understand how to use SQL to, query SQL, structured query language, to query very large databases, extract information from them, and run your analysis. You should be able to use visualization tools like Power BI or Tableau to demonstrate in simple terms what you've done with the data, right? So data analysis, visualization, another important hard skill to have. And the next one is project management. Now, there are a lot of health IT projects going on globally, right? And these projects require a project manager who is going to see this project from end to end. initiation to completion, right? So being able to understand how projects work. I mean, you can even be the project leader or the project manager for that specific project. So that might mean you having to, get certifications in is it Prince 2 if you're looking to work in the UK, or PMP. I think, yeah, PMP you can use that in Nigeria and maybe other parts of the world. I mean, again, depending on the organization where you work, there are other project management methodologies, like the I think there's agile, there is the scrum. So you want to look that up depending on the industry you want to get into. You should be adept with those things. And then there are also other project management tools or softwares you should know and be adept in using. So things like Asana, you should know Asana. Things like Trello, you should understand how those tools are used to manage teams. I mean, like these days, projects are being managed remotely, and these are the softwares that help you as a project manager to manage your team and deliver on the results of the project. So you shouldn't go in depth, or I'm not saying you should master all the tools, but I mean pick a particular tool and gain significant mastery, because it's what you're gonna be using your day to day activities. Then another thing is being very aware of industry regulation and standards, right? That's very important because we're talking about things around governance, talking about things like patient confidentiality, data security, sharing, and all of that. So you need to be familiar with some of those regulations, like the HIPAA regulations, like the GDPR, and all of that, because whatever solution you're deploying or implementing has to be in compliance with those regulations. You can't flout those regulations when you are deploying whatever solution you have, right? Then another good hard skill to have is a very good knowledge of medical terms, right? That also helps you to be able to, work with different stakeholders, really. So, but again, by the fact that maybe you're a doctor watching, or a nurse watching, or somebody in the healthcare space watching, you really understand. So I think I'll pass with this one. Just a break, please. Now the next one is you might be looking at IT, hardware software maintenance. So that also means you need to be conversant with things like troubleshooting softwares or hardwares, um, solving downtime issues and all of that. So being able to, like, the system is down, you're able to bring it up in seconds and all of that. That's an amazing skill to have. So that will really come in useful depending on the job. I think this one looks a bit job specific too. Then yeah, networking and security, yeah, you should have a good understanding of that. Again, it's still job specific, but it's an important hard skill to have. Then user experience design. Probably I should have mentioned this first, because as persons who are working in the health tech space, you're maybe most times involved in design. So you should be able to have a good understanding of user design principles. How do we do this? Is this something people are going to like? How are we doing the research and all of that? Because whatever solution you deploy has to be friendly to the user. So you always keep your end user in mind. For example, you're designing an electronic medical record system, you're not carrying doctors along, and you design something they don't like, or it's not intuitive, or it's not helping their job, it's not going to work. So that's where user experience design comes in. So if you've got that, that's perfect. And some people, this is even their career self, they are user experience design experts. That's like their 9 to 5. So that's another job opportunity out there that I just mentioned. Then the last one, well, not last, second to the last, talk about AI and machine learning. So, I mean, healthcare now, we are talking AI and machine learning because, like I said in some of my videos, tech is really permeating healthcare, and every day constant innovations are coming up. So AI, machine learning are beginning to, they're looking for how to make this, central to what we do in healthcare and all of that. Despite the fact there are issues and concerns which they're really working on, but I mean, I think it's going to get to a time where it's going to stay, right? So you need to understand terminologies, AI, ML, all the jargons around AI and machine learning. So you need to know all of those. I mean, you don't need to have in-depth knowledge, but you should. I mean, you can hold a conversation about AI and machine learning with somebody. That's all I'm trying to say. Then devices and equipment. So if you're gonna be working in a place where there are a lot of medical devices, I mean, obviously you need to have good knowledge about those equipment and how they work and all of that. So getting some experience or being trained around how those work, yeah, that works. But I know some organizations too, it's not like they really expect you to, understand the spectrum of everything they have in their facility. Some offer trainings to, bring you up to speed as to how these machines work, and people guide you, right? So yeah, so that's my top 10 hard skills that I think everybody should have if you're moving from health care to health tech. So you might want to consider looking out for. I mean, there are tons of videos on YouTube, there are short courses on Coursera, edx.org. So you can just look them up and take all the short certificate courses and, just bring yourself up to speed about what's happening in the health tech space. So it gives you an added advantage, right? So that's it for me. So if you found this video useful, please, drop a like, drop a comment in the comment section, subscribe if you've not subscribed, and, share the link to this channel. If you're listening, it's still the same thing. I mean, it's the same platform, really. So until I come your way next episode, I still remain your host, Dr. Ron, and bye for now.